Each year, 10 million tons of carrots are harvested, boxed, chilled, and shipped across oceans. That's more than the weight of every airplane in the world, just in carrots. And while the vegetable seems humble, even forgettable, its movement from soil to supermarket is anything but. These orange roots are delicate. They wilt under pressure, crack from the cold, and sweat if the air around them shifts just a few degrees. So how does something so crisp stay that way across thousands of miles? The answer begins not on store shelves, but beneath a crust of dirt where the race to keep them fresh starts within minutes of harvest. In California's Central Valley, where rich soil and hot sun create near-perfect growing conditions, dawn breaks to a steady hum. Across vast, flat fields, long-legged harvesters trundle forward, gripping leafy green tops with rotating rubber fingers. Each carrot is tugged cleanly from the ground and gently rolled onto a moving belt. Dirt clings to the roots. The leaves shake. By the time the machine reaches the end of a row, hundreds of carrots are already piled into bins. These bins won't sit long. They're destined for cooling tanks, packing sheds, or cold trucks. Depending on where they're headed, California alone grows more than 1.6 million tons annually, feeding not only the domestic market, but customers in Japan, the Middle East, and beyond. Thousands of miles away in Shandong, China's carrot capital, the process begins with hands. Here, the soil is light, the harvest seasonal. Workers squat in rows, pulling up carrots one by one, brushing them off, trimming leaves, and stacking them into woven baskets. Some are destined for local juice plants. Others will be ice-packed into wooden crates and hauled to ports like Qingdao, bound for Singapore, South Korea, or Dubai. No matter the continent, the first challenge remains the same: prevent heat, damage, and time from stripping the carrots of their value. Once removed from the ground, carrots don't rest. They breathe. They lose moisture. A delay of even a few hours in hot weather can soften their snap, drain their sugars, and invite rot. In Israel's Negev desert, where high-value organic carrots are harvested under intense sun, the solution comes in the form of precise environmental control. Sensors buried in shipping bins track internal pulp temperature. If the core of a carrot exceeds 10 degrees Celsius for more than an hour, a system alert is triggered and the container is pulled for recooling. It's not just about freshness, it's about avoiding losses. In the Netherlands, sorting facilities are so refined that they can detect a slight bend or shadow on the skin that indicates bruising. Conveyor belts run with tireless rhythm, sorting 80,000 carrots per hour by length, color, and straightness. These carrots aren't spoiled. They're just imperfect. Many are sent for juicing or animal feed. The rest move forward. As soon as the roots are lifted, they are treated like fragile cargo. Within an hour, sometimes less, they are lowered into hydro-cooling tanks. These are not for cleaning. They're for slowing down biology. At 0.5 degrees Celsius, chilled water pulls heat from the carrot's core, faster than cold air ever could. In fields across Kenya's Rift Valley, this step is performed by solar-powered pumps and gravity-fed tanks. Cold water flows over baskets of just harvested carrots, reducing their internal temperature by more than 20 degrees in under 15 minutes. In areas with no electricity, some growers now use insulated stone troughs, chilled overnight, a technique adapted from milk preservation practices. These steps have cut spoilage by over 30% in regions that once saw half their harvests lost before reaching buyers. Once cooled, the next phase is containment. Carrots are boxed into vented crates, each designed to maintain airflow without letting the roots dry out. Some crates are lined with moisture-retaining pads. Others rely on breathable plastic films engineered to hold in just enough humidity to prevent softening. From here, they're moved into refrigerated trucks, where every cubic meter of space is part of a temperature-controlled system. Trucks in Australia's interior often travel over 2,000 kilometers from Tasmania to Darwin. These multi-trailer road trains are mobile cold rooms with onboard diagnostics that monitor insulation, door seals, and airflow patterns. If even one zone warms above target, the driver receives a warning. Sometimes, alternate routes are selected mid-transit to avoid extreme heat zones. Crossing oceans, carrots are packed into 40-foot refrigerated containers, each acting as a rolling climate capsule. Inside, fans circulate chilled air between layers of crates, while sensors report temperature, humidity, and gas levels back to a central system. A single ship leaving Qingdao might carry over 2,000 tons of carrots, nestled beside parsnips and celery. Ethylene levels are carefully monitored. Even trace amounts of this natural plant hormone can accelerate ripening, reduce shelf life, and alter flavor. To combat this, some shipments now include activated carbon filters or potassium permanganate sachets, both designed to absorb ethylene before it accumulates. In high-end exports, each box contains a time temperature indicator strip, a simple color dot that turns dark if the cooling chain ever breaks. But whether they're bound for retail shelves in Toronto or juicing plants in Seoul, the process always hinges on timing. A delay at port? That's softness. A cracked crate? That's contamination. In Mexico, carrots grown in Guanajuato are sometimes packed in the field, using mobile stations hitched to tractors. These units wash, grade, and pack routes within 100 meters of where they're picked, cutting transit exposure by hours. In Poland, smaller farms use regional chilling hubs, where several growers pool shipments for centralized pre-cooling. These carrots are then batch-loaded onto rail cars bound for Berlin or Paris, where schedules are tight and any deviation can mean rejection by supermarket chains with strict visual standards. Back at distribution centers, carrots arrive chilled, sorted, and labeled to the minute. Warehouse scanners match each crate to its shipment time, destination, and shelf life code. Nothing sits idle. Crates move from truck bed to storage room, to loading dock with mechanical efficiency. Some facilities, especially in Germany and Japan, have no human handlers at all. Carrots are transferred robotically, ensuring no bruising from hand pressure. And if a single bin doesn't meet temperature criteria, the system flags it, removes it, and triggers an investigation. There's no room for hesitation in a network this precise. Across all this, one truth holds steady. The carrot may be simple, but moving it at scale is anything but. It requires not only farming knowledge, but logistical coordination and constant environmental control. And all of it starts the moment a root is lifted from the earth. Inside a packing shed, outside Bakersfield, California, the floor glistens with chilled water and the air smells faintly of earth and disinfectant. Carrots, just lifted from the soil and hydro-cooled in nearby tanks, flow across conveyors in a clean, rhythmic line. Jets of water rinse off clinging soil, and soft bristled brushes polish each root as it rolls forward. Optical sensors examine shape, length, and color in milliseconds, sorting the harvest into streams. Those destined for fresh retail markets, those cut for baby carrots, and those redirected to processing. Speed matters, but so does precision. A bruised carrot won't last. And in these warehouses, which operate for up to 20 hours a day during peak season, every movement is a calculation to keep the product cold, clean, and alive. From field to freight, carrots must remain between 0 and 2 degrees Celsius. Even minor lapses introduce risk. Carrots breathe after harvest, slowly releasing carbon dioxide, heat, and water vapor. If the air surrounding them turns stale or warm, respiration accelerates, and decay begins. In large export operations, whether in Israel, the Netherlands, or Australia, this biological reality is managed with real-time monitoring. Sensors embedded in crates record pulp temperatures and oxygen levels, transmitting live data to logistics teams. If a box begins to warm or suffocate, the system flags it. That box is isolated, cooled again, or rerouted. The process may sound mechanical, but it's an act of constant environmental negotiation. Carrots are packed in crates lined with specialized films. These aren't sealed shut, but designed to breathe. Polymer membranes with invisible perforations that release gases while retaining humidity. Select the wrong film, and carrots dehydrate or mold. Choose the right one, and shelf life extends by days. In export hubs like Rotterdam, packers adjust materials by destination. Thicker films for desert climates, thinner ones for humid ports. At sea, carrots ride in refrigerated containers, sealed capsules powered by ships' generators. Air circulates evenly between stacked pallets. Humidity is kept between 90 and 95%. Some containers now include ethylene scrubbers, absorbing the natural ripening gas to prevent softening or off flavors. A single ship might carry over 2,000 tons of carrots this way, each box monitored like a live inventory. On land, the urgency continues. Trucks moving produce across continents operate under strict timing windows. Drivers receive alerts if their trailer strays from target temperatures. In Germany, warehouses require confirmation scans at every checkpoint, sometimes including color change strips on each pallet that reveal if the cold chain was broken. These are passive indicators, but they speak loudly. No retailer wants to gamble on freshness when the standards are measurable. Moisture loss is another silent threat. Carrots can lose up to 5% of their weight during transit. To reduce shrinkage, some suppliers insert fiber pads that slowly release water vapor, or use crates made from biodegradable composites designed to retain ambient humidity. These materials, often derived from cassava, bamboo, or sugarcane waste, are not only more sustainable but perform better under heat stress. In countries with weak power grids, phase change gels offer backup refrigeration, freezing at specific temperatures and maintaining stable conditions without active cooling. But technology isn't limited to preservation. In France, carrots rejected due to appearance are fermented into biofuel. In Japan, high-end carrots are packed like gifts, with single roots wrapped in moisture-resistant cloth and chilled in glacial meltwater before delivery. Some retail chains now sort carrots not just by size but by sweetness, measured through near-infrared scans. These finer distinctions wouldn't matter if logistics didn't support them. Flavor, firmness, color, all are preserved or lost depending on conditions the carrot never chose. Despite all this care, not every shipment arrives in peak condition. Delays, overheating, or rough handling still remove tons from circulation each year. But the systems built around the carrot are increasingly robust. Even waste has become part of the loop. Pulp turned into livestock feed, peels processed into bioplastics, or excess stock rerouted to community kitchens and juice producers. The carrot, once treated as a bulk commodity, now moves through a network designed not just for volume, but for value at every stage. From hand-packed crates in rural Kenya to refrigerated rail cars crossing Eastern Europe, the scale is massive, but the focus remains microscopic. Each crate has its own climate, each route carries its own margin of error, and every cold orange route reflects the careful balance between biology, machinery, and time. In the highlands near Nairobi, carrots once lost to heat, and time now lasts longer, chilled inside solar-powered cold rooms built from repurposed shipping containers. The air stays just above freezing, steady and silent. For smallholder farmers, this means more than preservation. It means access. The carrots, kept firm for days instead of hours, can be graded, packed, and sold to urban markets they once couldn't reach. Across continents, the carrot's fragility has shaped entire systems: solar refrigeration, insulated crates, biodegradable films, all tuned to protect a root that softens too fast and shrinks too easily. In France, carrot pulp from juicing factories becomes compostable packaging. In Japan, discarded peels are dried into pet snacks. Nothing moves alone. Even waste is folded back into the system. Flavor, color, even shape influence not just the harvest, but how it's moved. Purple carrots grown in northern India for their antioxidant-rich juice require dark crates and low-light handling. Golden roots used in baby food are so sensitive to temperature they were air-freighted with phase change packs to prevent texture loss. Small changes, 1 bruise, 1 degree, still matter. Technology now watches over every box. Sensors track oxygen, humidity, time in transit. Algorithms reroute when delays threaten freshness. Some crates arrive with data logs that retailers can scan before accepting delivery. And still, hands matter. A driver checks a cooling panel by feel. A packer adjusts spacing so air moves evenly. The system is vast, but grounded in the ordinary. Carrots now move through a global choreography, not built for drama, but for steadiness. A network of fields, films, fans, and fingers, all to protect a vegetable that doesn't shout for attention, but quietly demands precision. Each crisp bite is the result of a system that, at its best, holds fast against time. A carrot seems simple, but its freshness depends on timing, temperature, and care across thousands of miles. From cold fields to warm kitchens, it's kept crisp by crates that breathe, trucks that chill, and hands that know what softness means. It isn't flashy. It doesn't last by accident. When it crunches cleanly, it's because everything held together, even what you never saw.